Hello, ego, soul. Ego and soul, are they really two ends of the same rod? Hi, I'm Roubina Khodadin, artist, healer, spiritual guide, giving you the inspired information regarding the link between those two. Typically, we associate ego with overindulgence in self or over pride. Actually, we often associate ego with over of something. The soul is often associated with the side of us which is lighter, more joyful, something more heart-based. But this is where the trap lies. The thing is, if we think about it, the soul is linked to something wider, whether you want to call it the universe, whether you want to call it God. And oftentimes the universe's responses to our desires or to our requests are sometimes harsh. Not all the things that we aspire towards we get there, and sometimes responses to our actions can be even quite harsh in terms of maybe painful experiences, maybe illness. So as we think about it, the response of the universe or God to ourselves is not always peace and love, isn't it? So as we link more and more to our soul, actually if you look at the series of videos, especially the last one, you will hear me talking about the fact that healing is part of linking up to the soul. The more we connect to our soul, the more we connect to also the part of us which is more, which can see things on a very clear way, even if that means that we then take actions that might seem harsh to other people, that might seem egoistical to other people. So being more linked to the soul means our actions, decisions, even reactions could be harsher, could be not like bright and amazing, but they come from a very fair place, from a place that we know this is what is right regarding this situation. Whereas the same response coming from the ego regarding the same situation would be sometimes harshness in a way of like preservation instinct, or sometimes it could be harshness because we want to run away from something, or sometimes it's overly proud because we need to protect ourselves. Whereas the same response coming from the soul is also a form of protection, but which is fair to us and fair with a broader perspective. So the actual question of ego and soul doesn't really arise because if you are on a spiritual path somehow, or a healing path, which I assume you might be somehow, otherwise you probably wouldn't be watching this video, then there's no point asking ourselves so much the question, oh, is my answer to this situation, is it ego-based or soul-based? No. As you link up more with your soul and you heal more, then even those parts which might look selfish won't be selfish anymore, because it comes from a source within us that is linked to a higher knowledge. And as I said before, the higher knowledge sometimes might not suit other people. It might not, some people might feel that it's unfair. So as I said, ego is a bit linked with the idea of selfishness, but the soul is linked more with the idea of self. In a way, self in a broader way, not self like me, my little self. It's me, my bigger self. So I would say linking up more with the soul is a bit like the selfishness of the ego without the fishiness. Whatever that means, without the fishiness. So make sure you also look at the series of a video about how to heal from past wounds. You might also like to watch the video on gratitude and compassion, because as we practice also more gratitude, more compassion, and we link up more to our soul, then these questions of ego don't really arise. And also sometimes people might judge and say, okay, you are being egoistical or whatever, and that might affect us sometimes. But if we are more linked with the soul will also in some way protect us from harmful experiences. So if you need one-to-one session, or if you need a soul painting, which I talked about in my previous video, then do get in touch with me. The link is in the description box. Otherwise, maybe let me know in the comments what are your views about this, and or anything else that you fancy. Wishing you a good evening, a good night, a good day. Bye bye.